Fishing is that one passion that we all share, and it's really quite amazing how many people share that one passion. It allows us to get away from everything, and you don't have the stress of work or school, whatever. You're just there fishing, doing your thing, and it's quite special when you think about it. Always looking for new techniques, ideas, areas to explore, and if you haven't been to Oman chasing the world's biggest G's, it's something that you really got to do, and it's a trip of a lifetime. And I've been really fortunate to be able to do this trip. You know, once you get your first G on topwater, you'll never forget that hit, that big boom, when that monster just comes out of nowhere and just annihilates your lure. The addiction will hit as soon as that happens, and it's something that you'll never forget.
Set! Wind!
Explaining what a GT explosion is like to someone who's never seen it it's quite difficult, because they've all got different attitudes and ways they go about it. You know, there's some that are just so big and so angry they just want to annihilate your lure, but they move so much water when they come up that they actually push your lure out the way, and it's exciting seeing that, but you want them to come back, but often they don't when they miss it the first time. Then there's ones that are really subtle and graceful about it. They just suck it off the surface, but that's the only thing subtle that they do. After that, they're just there to ruin. They're there to ruin your gear. They're there to ruin you. That's what they're there for. And then probably one of the most exciting ones is the pack attack. You know, you might have 3 or 4 fish come up fighting for your lure, and there'll be the biggest ball of whitewater that you've ever seen behind your lure. And we're actually fortunate enough to experience this a few times in Oman, and one occasion in particular really will stick in my head for a long time. We had about 30 or 40 fish come up behind our lures, and they would have been from 30 to 60 kilos. They were true beasts, and we ended up having a triple hookup, which was really quite insane. And then there's just your standard explosion. Explaining that is just, it's so hard, because the only way you can explain it is by dropping a car behind your lure and then tying a line to a train and trying to stop it as it screams down the tracks. It's near on impossible, but it can be done. And I suppose that's why we're all into GT fishing, is that hit. That's why you fish topwater, and that's the true addiction. That's the reason you go to Oman. You're not there to catch 60, 70 fish in a trip. You're there to catch one. And if you catch 3 or 4, you've had seriously an amazing trip. You're there to catch that 160 kilo beast, and Oman's the place to do it.
You
lines around your wrist, Ed. Your left hand.
GTs are probably the nicest, meanest fish, if that makes any sense. When that fish comes up behind your lure, you have to switch your brain from, wow, did that just happen, to, I've got to set. And setting on a GT, there is nothing like it. You have to set so hard, try and rip its head off its shoulders. And that fish will absolutely ruin you. If everything is not 100% perfect, you're not landing that fish. Your knot has to be 100%. Your split rings have to be 100%. Your hooks have to be 100%. And one thing in Oman that isn't often talked about is the long toms. Those little bastards will nibble your line all day long, and sometimes you don't even see it, and it will be the tiniest nick. But the G's hit so hard that it'll pop P10 in a heartbeat. And it's just something to keep in mind. You're not just watching your lure, you're watching for fish coming up behind your lure, but you're also watching the full length of your line for a little tiny splash in these long toms. And then when that fish comes up, you've got to have 100% confidence in everything, in all your gear, your skipper, your crew, everything. And you got to set. And when you set, do not forget one from Mo.
Fuck yeah, this is a fucking 50 something, mate. Please grab the tail, somebody.
Tail.
I need to grab the tail.
Which one? Yeah, you go for it.
Fuck me. Bro, that thing is not going nowhere.
When you go to no boundaries in Oman, there's the possibility of catching a GT over 50 kilos every day. But you're not doing it by yourself, and what we're there for is that 60 kilo fish. But when you're tackling these fish, there's no you or there's no I. It's really a teamwork. It's not your fish, it's not my fish, it's our fish. Everyone on the boat's got a role, and you as the angler is to stop that fish. And I'll tell you what, it certainly ain't easy. Those fish will punish you every bit of the fight, and if you're not 100% with everything you've got, you're not landing that fish. Landing that fish of a lifetime is something really quite special, and it's something to really take in when it happens. And it's not only about the fish, it's about the people you share it with. And something that I really appreciate is that I get to share all these experiences with my dad. And it's something really quite special and something that I'll never forget.